Welcome aboard. We have about 5 minutes before the next stop. Let me tell you a story about a man who sat on same bench every single day. For 3 years a man sat on the same park bench every single day. Nobody knew why. When the truth finally came out, the entire town was in tears. Every morning at exactly 8 a.m. he arrived. Same old jacket, same worn-out shoes, same small smile, and every day he sat on the same bench. Rain or sunshine, cold or heat, he never missed a day. At first nobody paid attention. People assumed he was retired, maybe lonely, maybe just someone who liked the park. But after months turned into years, people became curious. The park vendors knew him, the joggers recognized him, children waved at him, yet nobody actually knew anything about him. His name was Daniel, that was it. Whenever someone tried to start a conversation he was polite but brief, then he would return to staring down the path ahead, always the same path, always waiting. For what? Nobody knew. One afternoon a young journalist named Sarah decided to find out. She was looking for a human interest story, something different, something meaningful. The mysterious benchman seemed perfect. She approached him carefully. "Excuse me, sir." Daniel smiled. "Yes. I've noticed you come here every day." "I do. Why?" Daniel looked toward the path again, then he smiled softly. "I'm waiting for someone." Sarah glanced around. The bench was empty. "Who?" "My daughter." Sarah paused. "When is she coming?" Daniel's eyes never left the path. "I don't know." The answer confused her, but before she could ask more questions Daniel stood up. "It was nice meeting you," and he walked away. The next day Sarah returned, then the next. Eventually Daniel began talking more. Little by little she learned his story. Years earlier Daniel and his teenage daughter had argued. A terrible argument, the kind people think they'll have time to fix later. His daughter had stormed out. Before leaving she said something Daniel never forgot. "I don't want to see you again." The words hit hard, but Daniel assumed she'd cool off. A few days later he tried calling, no answer. Weeks passed, then months. She had disappeared completely, changed cities, changed numbers, no messages, nothing. Daniel searched for years but he never found her. Then one day he remembered something. When she was little she loved this park, especially this bench. As a child she used to tell him, "If I ever get lost I'll come here." So Daniel started visiting, at first once a week, then every day, just in case. Sarah listened in silence. "Do you really think she'll come back?" Daniel smiled. "I don't know." "Then why keep coming?" His answer stayed with Sarah forever. "Because if she comes back one day and I'm not here she'll think I stopped waiting." Sarah published the story. Within days millions of people had read it. The internet exploded. People shared it everywhere. The story of the father who waited. Television stations covered it. Radio shows talked about it. People from different countries sent messages of support. But Daniel didn't care about the attention. Every morning at 8 a.m. he still sat on the bench, waiting. Then one cold Tuesday morning something happened. The bench was empty for the first time in years. No Daniel, no smile, nothing. The regular visitors became worried. Sarah received a phone call. Daniel had been hospitalized after suffering a stroke. Doctors weren't sure how much time he had left. The story spread again. People flooded social media with messages, prayers, support, hope. Then something unbelievable happened. A woman appeared at the hospital. She was crying before she even entered the room. She walked directly to Daniel's bed. The nurses watched silently. Daniel slowly opened his eyes. For a moment neither of them spoke. Then the woman whispered, "Dad." The room fell silent. It was her, his daughter, after all those years. She had seen the story online thousands of miles away. She recognized the bench immediately. She recognized the jacket, the smile, the man who never stopped waiting. Tears rolled down Daniel's face. His daughter grabbed his hand. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I'm so sorry." Daniel squeezed her hand weakly. Then he smiled, the same smile people had seen on that bench for years, and he said just 6 words, "I knew you'd find me someday." Months later Daniel recovered, not completely but enough. One sunny morning people returned to the park and there he was, sitting on the same bench, but this time he wasn't alone. Beside him sat his daughter, laughing, talking, making up for lost years. And suddenly everyone realized something. Daniel wasn't waiting because he was certain she would come back. He was waiting because love doesn't always need certainty. Sometimes love is simply refusing to give up, even when everyone else would have. Hope you learned something today, my honorable passengers. See you all on my next trip. Stay always blessed.